Pakistan remains deeply entangled in a never-ending political crisis which is leading to chaos and uncertainty throughout the country. Mass anti-government protests by the opposition, increasing violence, and growing conflicts between political parties and the army have put the already distressed country at a standstill. Join us for an inside story on Pakistan's political battle and its impact on South Asia. On October 27, an unprecedented press conference was held by the ISI chief to clarify the Pakistan Army's position regarding former Prime Minister Imran Khan's politics, and to deny Army Chief Qamar Javed Bajwa's involvement in removing the popular former Pakistan cricket legend from the top job. A week later, former cricketer turned politician Imran Khan was shot in the leg in an assassination attempt while leading the long march of his supporters in Punjab's Wazirabad. To make matters worse, the Shehbaz Sharif-led Pakistan government immediately gagged Pakistani media from telecasting any speeches or press conferences of Imran Khan. What were they trying to hide? There is a clear and increasing rift between Imran Khan and the Pakistan Army since he was removed as Prime Minister in a parliamentary confidence vote in April. Imran Khan had alleged that the deep state forces in Pakistan had entered into a conspiracy to remove him as Prime Minister. Imran Khan made his first appearance after his shooting on November 4th in a long, rambling press conference where he placed the blame on Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif, Interior Minister Rana Sanola, and intelligence official Major General Faisal Nazir for the attempt on his life.
सबसे पहले राणा सनाउल्लाह ने क्यों बनाया? क्योंकि राणा सनाउल्लाह एक कातिल है। राणा सनाउल्लाह और शहबाज शरीफ ने, दूसरी तरफ शहबाज शरीफ के ऊपर ह्यूमन राइट्स वॉच की रिपोर्ट है या एमनेस्टी इंटरनेशनल की रिपोर्ट है। उसके बाद ये दो, इन्होंने इस प्लान के अंदर ये शामिल हुए और साथ मिल गया इनके मेजर जनरल फैसल। इन तीन ने फैसला किया मुझे कत्ल करने का। और फिर हुआ क्या?
Pakistan has a long history of political violence. Former Prime Minister Benazir Bhutto was assassinated in December 2007 in a gun and bomb attack after holding an election rally in Rawalpindi next to Islamabad. Her father, the former Prime Minister Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, was hanged in the same city in 1979 after being deposed in a military coup. The Pakistan Army and spy agencies, the ISI and military intelligence, play a significant role in Pakistan's politics. Shadowy deals made with political parties, the judiciary, religious extremists, and terrorist groups have been widely exposed. It is this political culture that Imran Khan has been able to successfully exploit, either as a full participant and leader, or, since his removal from power, as critic and staunch opponent. Imran Khan, in his current role as critic of the ruling powers, is managing to rally support for his movement for Hakiki Azadi, or real freedom. Khan's aim, and the reason for this long march in Wazirabad, was to disrupt the status quo, force an early election and return to power, and to compel the army and the ISI to be supportive of his ambitions.
There is a view in Pakistan that Imran Khan rode to power at the back of the support from the army. So he's actually not happy that the army has kind of left him. There are many reasons why he had to go. But one of the prime reasons that he is advancing is because the neutrals, he calls the army neutrals. The neutrals have started backing someone else. And he also brings in the foreign conspiracy case.
Political volatility in Pakistan causes severe damage to the country's growth, especially to its struggling citizens, who are already coping with high inflation and economic volatility. This instability and volatility in Pakistan is destabilizing for South Asia, and especially for its relations with neighboring India. In the absence of any diplomatic engagement, the rather fragile relations between India and Pakistan are being kept up only by means of an unwritten ceasefire that began in 2003 and was salvaged from near breakdown last year only. India will continue to remain vigilant and closely monitor Pakistan's fragile political climate so it can best protect itself and its citizens. Hundreds of protesters have gathered here to voice their concerns over the state of their economy and their opposition against the current government. Taxes have been increased across the board, and inflation is at an all-time high as the island nation struggles to emerge from its worst financial crisis in over 7 decades. A combination of the forex crisis and political upheaval had already plunged Sri Lanka into instability and economic crisis. The situation has further snowballed, leaving common Sri Lankans completely helpless. Protesters also accuse the government of suppressing any voices of dissent. Since Ranil Wickremesinghe took office as the president of Sri Lanka, a number of people have been detained, and some even have been charged with serious offenses under new draconian measures put in place by Ranil's government to crush the protests against rising cost of living and shortage of basic essentials. Opposition leaders have also joined the demonstrations, calling the ruling government repressive.
Today we are on the roads because the so-called democratic president Ranil Wickremesinghe has started to suppress the people's rights in this country.
Observers predict that the island nation's protracted protests may further weaken the already frail government. Sri Lanka has been in the throes of deep financial crisis this year, caused by record low foreign exchange reserves. The crisis has pushed a large part of the country's 22 million population towards poverty, with many struggling to pay for even cooking gas and medicine. In July, widespread protests caused former President Gotabaya Rajapaksa to flee the country and resign after protesters stormed his office and residence. Unfortunately, since Rajapaksa's resignation, the political and economic situation has not improved in the country. When Ranil Wickremesinghe was elected president, the opposition and detractors referred to him as a puppet of the influential Rajapaksa brothers and have called for new elections.
This is only a first step in a long march in order to promote democratic change. We believe in democratic change. We need an election. We need to give the people a chance to provide the country with a new government, with a new mandate. And we shall achieve this through democratic means.
Sri Lanka's future looks increasingly grim, and many fear that the worst is still ahead. Wickremesinghe, who will be presenting his first budget on November 14th, is likely to include steep tax increases and other reforms in order to put the country's tattered economy back on track and to gain approval from the International Monetary Fund for a 2.9 billion USD bailout. According to experts, Sri Lankans could be facing a new level of desperation and poverty they have yet to see if a 30% increase in corporate and individual income tax occurs, coupled with the already skyrocketing inflation rate that reached 66% in October this year. While the government scrambles to find long-term solutions to the country's many problems, Sri Lankans are left struggling for basic, adequate necessities and continue to voice their discontent at the government's mishandling of the country.